to, quote, infiltrate. Special counsel John Durham dropping a bombshell that could lead right back to Hillary Clinton. A court filing alleges multiple Clinton campaign staffers hired a technology company to, quote, infiltrate servers at Trump Tower and then later the actual White House in order to try to establish a link from Donald Trump to Russia. And breaking this afternoon, sources telling Fox News that Durham's probe has accelerated with more people cooperating and coming before a grand jury. Republicans say it is proof they've been right all along and that heads should start rolling.
This is what's so egregious and so wrong about it. I mean, you think about it, they spied on a presidential campaign. That's as wrong as it gets. But then we found out from this filing that they actually spied on a sitting president, which is even worse.
I would expect there to be, frankly, quite a few more indictments. I think this conspiracy, and I do think there was a criminal conspiracy, is broad and deep.
And after endless coverage of the Russia investigation, the media seems to be silent on this particular development. And the way they covered the Durham investigation in the past is drawing even more scrutiny.
The biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign.
There's no real evidence of that.
Of course there is.
No.
It's all over the place. Leslie,
Sir,
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Donald Trump and William Barr promised that Durham would expose huge corruption, but he hasn't done that.
Is apparently an ongoing, concerted Republican and pro-Trump project to try to turn the investigation of the Russia scandal into some kind of scandal itself.
Oh, no. OK, wait till the Durham report comes out. And then nothing happens and they just move on to the next conspiracy theory.
I could just keep watching that montage, but we shall take it around the table. Judge, what about this development that Fox News is reporting that there is additional cooperation that's happening, which is why this is sped up a little bit?
Well, that makes sense in a situation like this. I think, you know, everyone who is a potential defendant knows who they are in these cases. And they are probably recognizing that they've gotten to the guts of this. Look, this was an attempt to frame a presidential candidate and the president of the United States, to frame him as being a Russian operative, a Putin puppet. And if you recall, the damage here is unbelievable. We've never seen anything like this. And America was torn. For 4 years, we were at each other's throats because Hillary Clinton, her campaign, hired people to try to make a connection between a server in the Trump Tower and one at a Russian bank that's connected to Putin. I mean, this is outrageous. And, you know, this woman who's always smiling and you know, is like, you know, Donald Trump is evil and I am the great salvation. The truth is she's been through more criminal, quasi-criminal activities, from erasing 33,000 emails that many of them classified, saying she never had a classified email on her laptop or her iPhone when she was the Secretary of State. And she's got all of these problems, and now they're getting to the guts of it. And I think by trying to frame the president of the United States, every American should be furious, and every potential defendant out there knows that they're coming for you.
And does that include, I would assume, Hillary Clinton, Harold, who is going to be one of the speakers at the New York State Democratic Convention and has flirted with the idea of running again? This seems to lead right back up to her door. And in 2016, she put out a tweet saying, oh, my, look at this. There seems to be a connection here. But it seems like they were fabricating the connection in the first place to drive news coverage.
If these allegations by Mr. Durham turn out to be true, the ones that have been leveled against, I believe, these two lawyers and maybe even a third lawyer, you have to let the chips fall where they may fall. I'm a rule of law person. I believe the Constitution, all our rule of law derives from that. I'd be careful before we go so far as to link her to this. And I've heard some people inflate the rhetoric and equate between Watergate and here. But remember, President Nixon approved and actively engaged in the cover-up. If that is proven, Judge, or for anybody around the table, anybody watching, Mrs. Clinton will have a lot to answer for. But before we go there and make that leap with her, I think what we have on the table alone is